So today we're going to be talking about characterization, and the definition of characterization is the act of creating characters. A character is a person or animal who takes part in the action of a literary work. One method of characterization is simply to describe characters. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this little paragraph right here, and it's about this girl named Jody, and we're going to look at what kind of descriptive adjectives and vivid verbs we have to create that characterization. We're also going to look at the literary term conflict. Okay, you guys know conflict can be internal or external. Can you raise your hand and tell me what an internal conflict is? Does anyone remember internal conflict? Gregory, what's internal conflict?
It's a good problem? I don't know.
Good guess. Who can help him out? Daniel, what do you think internal conflict is?
Internal conflict, I think it's something like something good, like part of the story.
It is part of the story, but who is the problem with if it's internal? Ruben.
The feelings?
With your feelings, right? Hannah, you want to add to that? Anyone else want to add? Chance?
It's the problem that the person has with with itself.
With themselves, right? So it's internal, it's with their feelings, it's with themselves. What is an external conflict? Ruben, what's external conflict?
Like punching somebody?
So that would be man versus who? Man versus man. What's another type of external conflict?
Man versus animal.
Man versus animal, which would be nature. So like man versus nature.
Or
Luis?
man versus man versus water.
That would be man versus nature. Luis? Man versus, what else could it be?
Man versus man.
Well, with the mind, that would be internal. Okay? Go ahead, Melissa.
Man versus like the
Society. Okay, so that would be society. When it's one man versus a bunch of different people, so it could be the government, it could be a group of people in the neighborhood, as long as it's a large group.
Man versus world.
Man versus world would be like society. Okay? Daniel?
Man versus robot.
Well, I don't think there's a conflict for that we're going to be talking about, but yeah, that's something you might see like in a movie or a book, right? Okay, so right now we're going to be looking at this piece of writing. It's just a very short descriptive piece of writing that will have good characterization and conflict, okay? So I'm going to read through it the first time, and then we're going to start annotating it and highlighting and making some notes. Okay, so follow along with me on the screen. With the wind whistling, 13-year-old Jody stepped onto the pitcher's mound. As she glared at the batter, her chocolate brown hair swirled in the air, and her spotted freckles danced on her cheeks. Jody knew she was a talented pitcher. She had just struck out the previous two batters. Only one more to go. However, the next player was their best batter, and she had always hit home runs. Jody's confidence was slightly shaken as she stood on the mound. As the opposing team chanted and the crowd roared, she tried extremely hard to drown out the noise with her positive thoughts of victory. She maintained her hopeful attitude and prepared to wind up. A fastball followed by another, and finishing up with a changeup would definitely throw off the batter. She knew she had to psych out each batter if she wanted to pitch a shutout. Jody's thick, powerful body lunged forward as she anxiously flung her last three pitches. Strike three. Now it was time for Jody to bat. This was her weak spot. Jody knew she had to concentrate and focus on the ball so her bat would make contact with it. As the ball sprinted toward her, Jody took a small step forward, rotated her waist, and threw her hands at the ball. Crack! The ball sailed in the air. Jody dropped the bat and took off running, pumping her arms as fast as she could. She rounded the bases one by one until she slid into third. Safe! Jody was ecstatic. She knew she was one step closer to winning the game and the batting award. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at is the characterization elements, the descriptive adjectives. So characterization, remember, it's all about describing the character's physical appearance and their feelings and emotions. So if you could raise your hand and tell me one descriptive adjective that I could highlight. Nico.
She thought she would be able to hit the ball because she was never good at that.
That is a thought that she has. Let's start with the physical characteristics. So try again. Look up here. And what's one thing we know about what she looks like? You can get closer.
She's freckles.
She has freckles, spotted freckles, so that's one I can highlight. What's something else I could highlight, Eddie?
Chocolate brown hair.
Chocolate brown hair, good. What else, Luis?
Pumping her arms as fast as I can.
Hold that thought. I'm going to get back to that in a second. That is a very good detail, but I'm going to come back to that in a minute, okay? So don't forget. Emily,
Glare.
say that again.
Glare.
Another good detail, I'm coming back to that in a minute. We're going to talk about vivid verbs in a minute, and both of those are good vivid verbs. Let's try to stick with her physical appearance and her feelings. Gregory.
13 years old.
She is 13 years old. Her name's Jody. Good. Melvin?
Swirled in the air.
Okay. Remember vivid verbs. I'm going to come back to you. Those are all great details, but hold off on those for just a second, okay? Daniel.
Josie was ecstatic. Jody was ecstatic.
Ecstatic. That's her feeling. Do you know what ecstatic means? What does ecstatic mean? Really excited, right? Good. What else? Eddie.
Talented pitcher.
Talented pitcher. And you're going to have, there it is. Sometimes I read this and then I go back and can't find the detail. What else we got? Gregory.
Wait, what? I just lost it. Okay, I got it. Jody's confidence was slightly shaken as she stood on the mound.
Yes.
Confidence.
Confidence was slightly shaken. So that describes not what she looks like, but her feelings. Good. Anthony.
Pitch a shutout.
She did pitch a shutout. That's an action. We're going to get back to that in a second with the verbs. So hold your thought. Chance.
Positive thoughts.
Positive thoughts. Very good.
Victory.
Positive thoughts of victory. So again, that's a feeling we have. Melvin?
Well, I lost it now. Oh, pumping her arms as fast as she could.
Y'all are so good with these vivid verbs, but hold your thought, because I'm going to do another color with that in a second, okay? Don't forget. Emily.
Hopeful attitude.
Hopeful, good. Hopeful attitude. Good. Any other ones you can see? How is she feeling as she is pitching? It's right in this area.
I know. Nervous.
Well, what word do I use?
Anxiously.
Anxiously. What does it mean to be anxious?
Like nervous.
Kind of nervous, right? Okay, very good.
Old.
What about in here? What is she doing to try to hit the ball? Melvin.
Concentrate and focus.
She's concentrating and
ball.
she's focused on the ball. Very good. Let's see, y'all got hopeful. Good. Do y'all see anything else you want to add, Giovanni?
Ball sailed on the air.
Hold that thought.
Hold that
Hold that thought. That's a good detail. Okay. Now, down here, I'm going to put in yellow, we're going to put describing Jody.
Ooh, I got one.
You got another one?
Yeah.
What's that?
Glared at the batter because she glared like she.
Verb. That's a good one.
Action.
That is a good one. And that's what we're going to go to next. So a lot of vivid verbs in here, right? So I'm going to do pink for vivid verbs. So if you gave me a vivid verb, raise your hand and we'll revisit it. Okay, Nico.
She thought she couldn't do it.
Well, can you point to one up here? Is there one on here that could highlight? You want to look for a sec? Okay, I'll come back to you, okay? Giovanni.
Ball sailed in the air.
Ball sailed in the air. Right here. Good. So sailed is a good vivid verb. Melvin?
Pumping her arms as fast as she could.
There you go. Pumping her arms. Good vivid verb. Eddie?
The wind whistling.
Wind whistling. Okay, real quick. There are two things that are pretty cool about this detail. We got a vivid verb, Have you ever heard of personification?
Yes.
Does anyone know what personification is?
I've
Or
heard
can
of
tell
it.
me?
I
forgot about it.
Daniel, what's personification?
Example like that tissue if it's talking like a person.
Right. So it's when you take an inanimate object, something that's not living, and you give it a human characteristic. Personification has the word person in it, so that's a good way to remember. Okay, so I'm going to make a little note, and I'm going to write personification on top of it. That's a really good way to get descriptive adjectives and details. Also, wind whistling. Wind
what is it?
whistling. Do you remember?
Alliteration.
Alliteration. Good. So remember when you repeat those consonant sounds, the W's, you have alliteration as well. So that's another good detail. Okay? All right, another vivid verb. Go ahead, Gerger.
Glared at the battle.
Glared at the batter. So we got
Is it
that. Help me out here. Where
Under
to
the
go?
wind whistling.
Chain.
Oh, right here at the top. Good. Glared. Does that sound better than she looked at the batter?
Yes.
A lot better, right? Anthony.
Pitch or shut out.
She pitched a shutout. Pitched is our verb.
By anxiously above it.
Right here. Oh, right here. Pitch a shutout. Okay. Emily?
Sprinted.
Sprinted. Drive.
Sprinted.
Oh, right here.
Under.
Oh, the ball sprinted.
Ooh.
What else is this an example of? The ball sprinted. Not people sprinting.
Personification.
Personification, right? So I'm going to make a note of that up here. There we go. Vivid verb, Fatima. Swirled in the air.
Have it.
Right here. Brown hair swirled in the air. Very good. Does that sound better than it just went in the air or blew in the air? Yeah. Ruben.
Danced on her cheeks.
Okay, an example of what again?
Personification.
Why?
Because her freckles aren't living.
Right. Good.
I did a human activity.
Exactly. Very good. Vivid verb. Go ahead, Jaden.
Flung her last 3 pitches.
Flung her last 3 pitches. Help me out here.
Right under,
Right
right
there.
beside anxiously.
Oh, right here. Oh, right here. Yeah. Flung her. That sounds better than threw them. Flung, right? Gregory.
I know we're not on describing Jody, but I found one because it says Jody's thick, powerful body.
Yes, we did miss that one. I'm going to go back to yellow with that. Describing her physical appearance. Okay, what did that thick, powerful body do? What's another vivid verb right next to that, Giovanni?
Lunge.
Lunge. It's a lot better than went. Went is a very boring verb. We need to replace it with those good action verbs. Melvin.
Took a small step forward.
Took a small step forward. Is that the best vivid verb that I have written up there? It is a verb, but there are better vivid verbs. So I'm going to skip over that one, okay? Nico.
She slid into third base.
Slid into third base. Right here.
Right there.
Better than went into third base. Eddie.
Rotated her waist and threw her hands in the ball. Excellent.
Very good. Love it. Jaden.
She rounded the bases.
Okay, ran. What word could I put that's better than ran?
Rounded.
Repeated.
Scampered.
Fed.
Jolted.
Sprinted. Scampered.
It says rounded the bases.
Oh, rounded the bases. I'm sorry, I thought you said ran around the bases.
Yeah, that's fine.
But yeah, she took off running, she took off in full speed motion, so there are different ways you could replace that. Daniel?
Step closer.
Step closer. Is that the best vivid verb?
Yes.
No. What could we replace this with that might sound a little better? Can you think of a vivid verb instead of step closer? Eddie? She knew she was one step closer. Well, that makes sense. We're not talking about actually stepping. That's like a figurative, like she was
getting close.
getting closer, right? So that's okay. That's okay. Emily. Prepare to wind up. Good. Nico?
Stepped in the pitcher's mouth on the very top.
Stepped in, stepped onto. Good. Melvin?
Psych out each batter.
Yeah. That's pretty cool, right?
What does psych out mean?
It's like
Do you know what it means?
Trick
when-
them out?
It's like when they think you're gonna think you just
That could be one way of psyching them out. And then another way, when I was a softball pitcher, I would stand there on the mound and the batter would stand like ready to bat.